Hello everyone, welcome back. In our earlier module, we gave you an overview of the ACT. Now let's talk about the ACT test structure. We will be discussing more about how the test is scored, the various sections, and the number of questions. The ACT exam includes 5 sections: English, reading, mathematics, science, and an optional writing section. The English, reading, mathematics, and science sections are multiple choice questions. The total test time for these sections is 2 hours and 55 minutes. The optional essay question is 30 minutes. Let us start with the ACT English test. This section includes 5 passages and a total of 75 multiple choice questions. Each passage includes 15 grammar and rhetorical questions. The questions are not arranged in order of difficulty. They will follow the order of the text in the passage. You will have 45 minutes to complete this test. The English test includes the following types of questions: 10 questions on punctuation, 12 questions on basic grammar and usage, 18 questions on sentence structure, 12 questions on strategy, 11 questions on organization, and 12 style-based questions. The math section contains 60 multiple-choice questions, and you will have 60 minutes to complete these questions. The math test covers standard high school math topics. There will be 14 questions on pre-algebra, 10 questions on elementary algebra, 9 questions on intermediate algebra, 9 questions on coordinate geometry, 14 questions on plane geometry, and 4 questions on trigonometry. In general, the level of difficulty will increase progressively. The reading test is 35 minutes and consists of 4 different types of passages in the areas of humanities, social sciences, natural sciences, and prose fiction. Each of the passages will be several paragraphs long. Each passage includes 10 questions. The questions are not arranged in order of difficulty, they will follow the order of the passage. The science test is 35 minutes long and has 3 types of passages: data representation, research summaries, and conflicting viewpoints. The data representation and research summary passages will present some information about a scientific topic or experiment and ask you questions about it. The passage on conflicting viewpoints will give you several opinions about a topic and ask you to evaluate them. Again, the questions will not be arranged in order of difficulty. The data representation passage will have 15 questions. The research summaries passage will have 18 questions, and there will be 7 questions on the conflicting viewpoints passage. The writing test includes one 30-minute essay question. The essay is based on a social issue. The essay question can impact your scores on the English section. 2 trained readers will assign a score between 1 and 6 to the essay. Their individual scores will be summed to produce a final score of between 2 to 12. Welcome back once again to Test Mentor's online ACT course. In this video lesson, we will be discussing the ACT test scores. The way the ACT is scored might be the most confusing aspect of the test. ACT scoring starts with your answers. As mentioned in an earlier video, the test has 4 multiple-choice sections in the subject areas of English, math, reading, and science. In each of these sections, you will earn 1 point for every correct answer. Hence, you get 0 points for every wrong answer, just the same as you would have if you had skipped the question entirely. In each section, adding up 1 point for every correct answer gives you a raw score, which is nothing more than how many questions you got right. For example, in the math section, there are 60 questions. If you answer 45 of them correctly, your raw score is a 45. But 45 isn't the number you will see on your score report. The problem with raw scores is that it represents the number of correctly answered questions within each section. Since each of the sections on the ACT test have a different number of questions, it is very difficult to compare between 2 sections purely on the basis of the raw score. For example, there are 40 questions in the science section and 75 questions in the English section. So, if you get a raw score of 40 in both the sections, you aced the science section, but you have really struggled with the English section. to make the scores in all the sections comparable with each other. The raw score for each section is converted to a scaled score. Scaled scores convert the raw score in each section into a score ranging between 1 and 36, where 1 is low and 36 is high. So, if you get a scaled score of 28 in the science section and in the English section, you know you did equally well in both the sections. All of these 4 scaled scores are then averaged. To get your composite score, which is an overall measure of how you did on the test as a whole. For the English, math, and reading tests, you will also get 2 or 3 subscores. Subscores measure your performance in a specific group of questions within each section. For example, in the English test, you will get a subscore for usage and mechanics and another subscore for rhetorical skills. Questions on usage and mechanics are the more nuts and bolts type questions about things like punctuation and pure grammar, while rhetorical skills questions are more about effective word choice and organization. The raw scores for the subscores are calculated in the same way as discussed before, but instead of being reported on a scale from 1 to 36, subscores range from 1 to 18. Note that these subscores do not add up to make your section score. Instead, they only measure your performance related to a specific set of questions within the test. On your score report, you will see your scaled scores for each section, your composite score, and your subscores for the 3 sections that have them.